Hey everyone, William here at Fort Dobbs State Historic Site. Today we're talking about some of the additional defenses that you would have seen outside of the fort walls themselves. Now if you come visit Fort Dobbs, you'll notice around the building a diamond-shaped trench running around the perimeter. This trench, archaeologists believe, was about 3 feet deep, about 5 feet wide, which wouldn't stop anyone by itself. This is a great place to build what's called an abatis that you see here beside me. So an abatis is pretty much a wall of felled trees, limbs, sharpened branches, all pointing out towards the attackers in one tangled mess. Now this has been used since ancient times and is still studied by the US military today. Now to create an abatis, you have a couple different techniques you hear talked about. The largest of which, using the trees themselves, they actually discuss when you fell a tree towards the enemy, leaving the backside of the bark intact, so it is anchored to the stump. Some later military manuals suggest leaving the stump tall enough for a marksman or a sharpshooter to be able to hide behind the stump and fire at the enemy. Now the abatis that you see us reconstructing here is used with large tree limbs and treetops. Now you don't just simply stack these on top of one another, but the goal is to entangle them together to make it impossible for an attacker to pull them out of place, creating a gap in the defenses for their troops to filter through. Now to anchor these abatis in place, you see a couple different techniques used. Sometimes with the larger trees, you'll see them bracketed or staked down into the soil. Other times you see them chained or roped together. But with the ones that you have here at Fort Dobbs, we believe that the soil dug out of the trench was then piled back on top of the ends of the branches, securing them in place. Now with the abatis, it's nothing fancy as far as the ends. Simply a sharpened tree branch come to a nice point is going to be more than enough to deter any attacker or slow them as they come through these defenses and give you time to reload and fire from the fort itself. Now, if you're wanting to use an abatis for some larger defenses, such as cavalry or later on vehicles, that's when you need to start using larger trees. In fact, the US military manuals today suggest using an 80-yard section of forested road, laying the trees down at 45-degree angles, creating an anti-tank obstacle. So an abatis, although crude and primitive, can be very effective. Now, probably one of the more famous ones in history is the Zersetchnya Cherta in southern Russia along the steppe. This about 1,000-kilometer long defensive line contained abatis sometimes 70, 80, up to 100 yards deep, used to prevent cavalry raids against the Rus people. In American history, probably one of the more infamous uses in 1758 at the Battle of Carillon, what the English would later call Ticonderoga. An abatis constructed by the 3,600 French defenders successfully held off a British army of near 18,000, resulting in approximately 2,600 English casualties. So even though the French were terribly outnumbered, use of an abatis to slow and stop the attackers gave them the advantage they needed. So thank you all for watching this video with us, showing how we were reconstructing this abatis. For more information, check us out at fortdobbs.org, our Facebook page, Fort Dobbs State Historic Site, of course our YouTube channel here, subscribe to that, and come visit us in person at Fort Dobbs State Historic Site in Statesville, North Carolina.